So we'll talk about it like this. Free will comes from the activated middle self. We'll talk about you as if you're a trinity because you sort of are. So you have many selves, personally speaking. We're not talking about different parallel yous in the way that many of you think. We're talking about the multidimensional nature of your personal consciousness. You could divide that multidimensional nature into 3 levels: higher self, middle self, lower self. You're familiar with the idea of the hexagram, what is sometimes called the Star of David, the 2 triangles, one facing up, one facing down, and they converge. And in the middle of these 2 triangles, you have what you call the hexagon, the hexagonal structure. So this is how we would describe your middle self. Your middle self is the intersection of the higher and lower selves. This is the personal you. This is the you that you experience yourself to be. You are in the center of these 2 interconnected triangles. The triangle facing down, the one pointing downwardly, you could say that this represents your higher self descending down into matter. The bottom triangle, the one facing up, this represents your lower self penetrating up into spirit. So, in general, the lower self is in many ways equivalized to animal consciousness. This is the dimension of your consciousness that may feel perhaps rather primal. It may be sensitive to things like vices, like gluttony or overindulgence or compulsion. When the lower self has not been purified, in other words, when a person has not done what you call shadow work or gone through the dark night of the soul, the lower self sometimes can be a little chaotic to work with because its reality is based in darkness. It can't really see where it's going. It can only really see what you would describe as the in-the-moment experience, just like how many animals live. There are some animals that, of course, prepare for the future, but many animals do not have the ability to project far into the future. They're sort of dealing with things on a moment-to-moment basis. That's why the lower self can be a little bit more compulsive. It just thinks, I want this, I want it now. It doesn't really matter what comes later. I have this desire, let's fulfill it. That's sort of the mentality of the lower self.